Well, hello, folks. I'm LA Little, and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets, and we do it from a neoclassical perspective each time, asking ourselves what happened today and what does it tell us about the coming days. We do a show 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday, broadcast at or before 10 o'clock Eastern Time, archived on YouTube, son of a channel, LA Little. Folks, I'm under the weather today, not feeling very well at all. I got a nasty virus, and I just think it's important enough that I should come on here, show you what happened today and what it means. You know, if we look at the gains that took place today, they were huge, big spikes up right across the board, right? The one that really dragged again was the Russell. And excuse me, folks. The Russell has lagged all the way up, continues to lag, and lag in a big way. So you're not getting any love in the small caps, but you're getting it everywhere else. NDX up 2%, and it was up another 60 points after the bell on the trifecta of Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. And so you're going to see this thing soar again, and we'll see what that means to the indexes here in a second. But the real story today was over here. It was in the DAX and the CACs. They were up big. That was off of Draghi. And Draghi didn't change anything. He simply said, we are going to do more QE in December probably. And that really got the market rocking. And then the other piece that got it rocking was Shanghai. Shanghai, Chinese government injects more liquidity, and that, of course, was also pushing these markets. So the central banks once more come to the rescue, to bail out the market any and every time it looks like it's going to falter and to juice it higher. If we look at the S&P 500, the S&P gets into the thick of the resistance zone now. And that runs from about 70 down to about 45. And you can see it's in there now. And so this is the story. You get above this bar here, then all bets are off, right? This thing can go even higher. So that number, in case you're, wanting to jot it down, is 2076. So that's the S&P. The real juice is in the NDX, though. If you look at the NDX over here, NDX gets over that bar. And if you look at it on the weekly now, because this is the last hurdle, the weekly has the top at 45.68. You get over that bar, these things are going to new highs. So that's the number to jot down there, 45.68. And that is despite what was the setup for a potential, right shoulder. Now, if you look at that whole ideal of a right shoulder, right, you would have it here, you would have the head up there, right, and then you'd have the other right shoulder here. So this could conceivably move up to this area and still just be the right shoulder. So in other words, that's not off the table yet. But folks, when you get this kind of run, you get this kind of a push, and it's a straight up move like it has been for 4 weeks now, right? This whole ideal of a neck line down here starts to really kind of begs whether or not it can actually do that. So they're putting it to the test, and once again the bears have their backs to the wall. That's the NDX. And I want to pop over to the Russell real quick. If we look at the Russell, here's the Russell. The Russell now, of course, the weakest one. And this Russell just can't get over the top. It can't even get over the swing point high. So every attempt it tries to get up there, it can't. Today was an inside day on a big day up elsewhere. The Russell just barely moves. This is an issue, but so far the issue hasn't mattered. Now the Russell isn't going to carry the biggest weighting, right? It's just an index by itself of small caps, but the Russell keeps telling us something's not quite right. But right now nobody cares, right? They're just taking it the other way. I want to pop over real quick to the world markets, and if we look at that real quick here, I'm going to go to the DAX first. Now the DAX gets over and over. Here was the swing point high. It gets over that one, and it's trying to get over this one. Top there's 10.512. You got the 10.508. They're going to attack it again tomorrow. It's probably going to try to get over it. That mark is kind of a big mark, because once you get over that, right, you're back up into this bar here. The top of this bar is 10.810. Now let me come back to the daily again. If you do the ABCD structure on the way up, here you have from this bar up and then back down and up again, takes you to about 10.6. And so it's just over this bar. So we may see this test up and then come back down into it and do a failure there at that level, in which case you'd finally get a retrace. So that's the DAX. CAC's over the top though. If we go there, this one actually is over the swing point high, right, going higher, and you look at it on the weekly, the swing point low that it was testing into, it's already over it. That was this one, right, which told us it's more sideways than down, and now it's testing into the big bar. So I don't think there's anything new here other than the fact that you've got the continuation. Finally, if you look at Shanghai, I saw some this morning. I saw some folks talking about a key reversal yesterday. I don't know what's key about it, or the day before, right? Just pushed that yesterday, just inside bar, so nothing new there. The story, of course, is in the currencies, because the currencies are what moves things. And if we go there, you're going to see that that was the big mover today. You had a 2% drop in the euro. So the euro took a big haircut, right? It's down here breaking swing point lows, about to break two more. It broke two today. And if we bring up the weekly, it's also trying to break that one. So you're going to get multiple swing point lows break potentially on the weekly. If that happens, folks, that usually says 2 to 3 bars down. If that's 2 to 3 bars down, that's going to juice these markets even more. So that's something to watch for tomorrow. And then finally, the Japanese currency also, now they think they'll have to respond, right? And so the Japanese currency also going after the swing point lows. And excuse me. And they're just lined up across there. So if I come back over to the S&P 500, right, the key bar is up here. It's the 2070 area. 2076 is this high. This thing's going to try to juice farther. I had volume today. There's really nothing to stop it now until it gets into that. It is into resistance already, so it could reverse anywhere in here. But you got a big day up probably tomorrow to start with. And unless they sell that gap, which seems hard to do given who's driving it, then this is going to end up, 2070, 2074. It's going to be testing this tomorrow. That's it for tonight. If we learn something today, what we learn is that this market's stronger than we thought. Once again, we've seen that time and time and again. We had the structure on the longer term time frames for something major to take place. The only thing major is that people got fooled into thinking that it could take place. Every time it looks like it's going to take place, the central banks step in and juice these markets again, and this time wasn't a failure. This started way back in 2010, and it continues. And, actually 2009. And I don't know when it will end, but until it does, you still have to respect these central bankers around the world. That's it for tonight, folks. Thanks. I'm going to leave it at that. Take care. See you next time. Good night.